very easy for us to sit here and talk about, you know, a moment that changes the season for Manchester United. But, you know, they have got a late win at home against a side in the bottom three. The point is they have to build on this now big time, don't they? It's about the next few results.
Yeah, absolutely, because they've got some really difficult games coming up. And if they play anywhere near as badly as they played in the first half, they're just going to lose all the time. I mean, they were 10th, I think, this before the game started, and they were 10th for a reason. And listening to the boys in the studio, their performances have been nigh on woeful when you consider the order and the history of Manchester United Football Club. So, yeah, they got out of jail today in the second half of the game. But they need to carry on because they've got some really difficult games coming up. And they'll lose them, Jake, because they're not good enough.
And they've got Juve twice, Chelsea, Manchester City, all in the next 6 games. I mean, that's quite a list of games to be playing. But it has to be better. They have to get the results now. This is almost like the moment where it either changes or doesn't.
You know what, Jake? Today, they come up against a Newcastle side that have hardly scored any goals this year. It's the first time they've scored 2 goals, and they could have scored 5. Defensively, they play like that against any of those sides, they're going to be banging trouble again. So it's a great result, but you don't want to kind of fear that it's just papered over the cracks. You know, that is the worry, I suppose, when you kind of look forward. Enjoy the moment, shown great character, brilliant spirit within the team. Fantastic from Jose to make the changes at the right time. But, you know, going forward, you know, I don't think Manchester United fans, or I don't sit here and look at Manchester United and think, oh, they're going to be fine. No, at all. So I think that's the worry, I suppose.
I said last week it was a pivotal moment, and I thought so. Today, even I was here, signs up saying, you know, we support Jose, it's the board's fault. The crowd were singing a song, a derogatory song about it's not Jose, it's the board. And something has changed now at United, and I wonder whether if they lose a game again, one of those games, whether it'll come around quite quickly. And I think it's set in motion now for change here. I really do.
So you think, what are you saying, regardless of results, you think maybe there'll be a change of manager?
Well, listen, unless they win every single game going forward. But I can't see them doing that with that team that they had out today. I know they got the results in the end. But what I saw in the first half and what I saw in the second half, I don't think they've got enough to climb the table to satisfy everybody here. I really don't. I just don't think that they're good enough. I think they're 3, 4, 5, 6 players away from being anywhere near the top 4 sides. And what I've seen recently. Now, they have to prove everybody wrong and fly up the table and play a lot better than what they've done. But the way the fans were against the board today, and, you know, the cameras panning up on the board and people questioning it, and then Jose's rant at the end of the game, which I thought was madness at times, some of it.
What about it was madness?
Well, I just don't know who he's referring to, because the 10th in the league when they finished second last year, he spent loads of money on players that he's not playing. The performances are nowhere near good enough. So I don't know what who he's ranting about. I really don't. He's manager of Manchester United.
Well, he's probably ranting about the press reporting that he's lost his job.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
And he's probably also talking about the kind of comments and the conversations we have on this show.
I'd like to say that, because if that's the case and he doesn't believe this comes with the territory, he's Manchester United manager, the richest club in the world. Got one of the best histories of winning things in the world. He's 10th in the league after spending nigh on, I don't know how much he spent. You don't want to talk about
his net spend is 300 million.
He's Manchester United manager. If you're manager of Liverpool, Manchester United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Juventus, you expect this scrutiny. That's why you get paid twice, 3 times, 4 times more than everybody else does. So I'm baffled by it. The 10th in the league. If he was second and getting this criticism, I'd go, fair enough. You know, people are out of order.
He does have the best win percentage of any Manchester United manager.
Yeah, after 2.5 years. Come back in 20 years after Sir Alex Ferguson and tell me that then. But he's bought all kinds of players and doesn't play them.
I'll tell you what's frustrating for people that watch Manchester United. They see that second half there and you can go, wow, there was that. We talked about the commitment, the desire, the fight and stuff, yeah? But when I've watched Man United for probably about a year now, probably especially this season, I don't see a real identity. We spoke about it before. I don't really see an identity. That's the frustrating thing. When you have a team for 2 or 3 years, surely you have an imprint of your personality, an imprint of your philosophy and ideas within that team. I don't see it here. we showed some clips before the game about Manchester United. When you watch them, like I couldn't really pin down and say this is their go-to pattern of play. When the keeper's got the ball, where do they go? When the keeper gets the ball at Man City, you know where they're going to be. People on the park are going to be. When the ball gets into the forward areas, where are the front three of Liverpool going to be? You've got an idea. There's movement, there's interchange, there's this. The two wingers at Man City, wide, high and wide. There's an identity to these teams. The teams at Man United are trying to catch. Where's Man United's identity in the football sense? That's what I look at and I'm frustrated with. Because far too often I see things don't go the way they're meant to go at the beginning of the game. The ball goes up to Fellaini. Yeah. And that's the out ball. Watford, they done it. Got the goals off the back of going up to Fellaini. I don't see where the ball goes into Pogba and that's a trigger for players to move. That's what happens at the biggest and best teams. The ball goes into particular players on the team and people have movements off that player. Or if they go to the left back, where does part of a players in the team shift to?
And what does that come down to?
That comes down to getting your ideas across to the players so they know what to do.
It comes down to the manager.
Yeah,
what they do on the
that's the type of scrutiny that comes with the territory.
They've won 3-0 in the second half and they played great and they played nice and quick and they moved forward and they had confidence. But the way they finished the game, they're not going to start the next game like that with that formation. So it was as if it was just
all or nothing.
Right, all or nothing. Right, let's go, let's get forward and let's see what can happen. And the next game they play, they're not going to go, right, Pogba, Matic, Smalling, three at the back and play that way, are they? They're not. They're going to go back to what they know. And it's whether that's good enough in the end. So it'll be interesting to see.
Final question, with this result in mind, do you see any change other than Jose Mourinho not lasting too much longer than Manchester United manager? As Steve has already said, he still thinks that is going to be the eventual outcome.
I think a question from the people above would have been, can he get a reaction out of this squad? Can he get a reaction on that pitch? The last couple of weeks, we haven't seen that. Today, there's been a shift. And to be honest with you, you have to give him credit, because on that line, I said in the previous show, he's going to need a rub and a warm down. The amount of movement he showed, the amount of passion, desire, the way he was pushing his team on from the touchline. That's what people want to see. So he's ticked one box there. But then it's about time. The next time the game comes around, can he get the results? Can he start forming some consistency with this squad?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's Mourinho that might leave, but I just think once the board start getting criticised, something has to happen to appease the fans, because I don't think the performances will roll on and get better and better and better of what I've seen from this side.